everybody. Thank you for tuning in for our Shoosmiths live video today. I'm joined by Rachel, a trainee solicitor in our Milton Keynes office. And we are filming from Milton Keynes today. So to get us started, we thought we'd just talk a little bit more about the office that we're in today to give you a bit more information about the locations that you might want to apply to for a summer vacation placement and a training contract. So if you can just type into the comments where you're watching us from today while we tell you a little bit about Milton Keynes. So Rachel, why was it that you chose Milton Keynes as an office to apply to for a VAC scheme?
So originally I came from Bedfordshire area, so I wanted somewhere that was quite local to where I grew up, and obviously where my family ties were. And then now actually I live in Toaster, which is in between the Northampton office and the Milton Keynes office. But I was originally drawn to Milton Keynes because it's such an ambitious and growing area with really close links to London. So it's 30 minutes on the train. So like if you need to pop into London to meet clients or anything, you know, it's literally just down the road and hop on the train and you're there in 40 minutes max. And then loads of clients are moving out here. We've got loads of people local to us. Loads of big businesses are being drawn to Milton Keynes from London. So it's a really fast growing and really ambitious area. So I definitely wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah. So I think Milton Keynes is quite often overlooked when people are looking for law firms to apply to. But Shoosmiths is, I'd say, certainly the leading law firm in Milton Keynes. So a really good option if you are looking for somewhere that's close to London, but commutable or just on the outskirts. Because like Rachel said, it's like 30, 40 minutes to get into central London, which is fantastic. And I spend quite a lot of time moving between offices. So I know what it's like to be out on the road travelling. And I'm a bit biased as well because I used to live in central Milton Keynes and now live on the outskirts in Cranfield. So I do spend a lot of time in the Milton Keynes office and also Northampton. And for me, I love that the people here are very vibrant, fun and outgoing, always up for lunches out and drinks in the evening. So it's a very sociable office, and I think that's really important when you're just starting out in your career.
And there's loads of good restaurants and bars and everything nearby as well. So, you know, if you've had a long day, you can just hop across the road and there's plenty of bars there. So just great for the social life.
We're pretty partial to popping over the road to the hub, which is where the restaurants and bars are. Okay, perfect. So if you've just joined us, we're talking about summer vacation placements today. And I'm Sam Hope, I'm the Graduate Recruitment Manager. And Rachel, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to be at Shoosmiths?
Yeah, so I'm Rachel. I'm a first year trainee. I'm doing my first year. So originally I did a non-law degree at the University of Manchester. So I did a business management degree. I got to do quite a few law modules on there, realised I really enjoyed law. So I went on to do my GDL, and then straight after that I did my LPC. In between doing my GDL and my LPC, I did a summer vacation placement here at Shoosmiths. Obviously realised it was a firm that I loved, and it was a great experience. So decided to pursue doing the LPC, and then luckily got an invite.
Fab. So what year was it that you did your vacation scheme with Shoosmiths?
So I did my vacation scheme in 2015.
Okay.
So yeah, directly in between my GDL and my LPC. So
okay.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people think that they have to do a summer vacation placement during their second year at university, and if they miss that opportunity, then that's a missed chance. But obviously, you're saying you didn't do your VAC scheme until after the after GDL. So
yeah, exactly.
That's not true at all.
No, not at all. I definitely didn't feel like I'd missed out. I mean, I think I was the same at that point. I thought, oh, I've left it far too late to apply anywhere. But actually, all of the people that was with me were in the same boat as well. I think there was one other person that was in the middle of their law degree, so you're definitely not alone, and definitely keep applying. Don't think that you've missed the opportunity at all.
Yeah. So in terms of eligibility for our summer vacation placement, you need to fit the criteria for the eligibility for a training contract as well. So if you tick that box, then you can apply for that scheme. So what that means is we accept applications from penultimate year law students, final year non-law and law students, and any graduate. And that includes career changers, people that are starting law from a different point in their studies or career. So there's plenty of opportunity to come in and experience work and life at Shoosmiths. A little bit about the VAC scheme that we run here. It's a 1-week paid placement that takes place in early June, and the rate of pay for this year I think will be £310 for the week. And we've done it as a week. There's lots of different lengths of VAC scheme and work experience out there, but we think a week is enough for you to fit into other commitments that you have. So over the summer period you might be going travelling, you might be working full-time, you might have caring responsibilities, or you might be in a full-time job where you can only take a small amount of annual leave. So that's why we think a week is enough for you to really find out about us and decide whether we're the firm for you. But of course we want to get to know you on that week as well, and we think again that a week is enough for us to do that. So a lot of people will talk about a vacation scheme as a week-long interview, and I don't like to call it that. But of course you do want to make the best impression of yourself throughout the entire week. So but that starts really, I guess, at the first stages, at application stage, or if you're meeting us at law fairs, university events, and insight evenings. So do chat to us on social media, do comment. We do recognise names, and it's really nice to have people watching these videos. We're starting to recognise people's names coming up and up again, watching and commenting, which is great. And when you put your application through, we'll obviously recognise your name then. But of course, you do need to make sure it's a good application. So when you were applying, what things were you looking for in firms, and how did that application process go for you?
So when I was applying, I wanted to go for a more personable firm. I had done some work experience in really big, large firms, and to be honest, just really not enjoyed it. Felt like I was a very small fish in a very big pond, and that by the end of the week nobody had even known that I was there or who I was. So I definitely did not want a firm like that to train at. I wanted to go somewhere with really good clients, really good experiences, really friendly, where you felt part of the team from day one. So obviously when I was looking, Shoosmiths kind of ticked all that criteria, which made me want to apply here. So looked at the application process, which at that time was just the application form. So started filling that in, obviously took my time researching the firm, trying to get as much information as I could about it, and then answering the questions, and then submitted that for the vacation scheme and training contract.
Okay, so the way it works for our application form, then I'll give you a bit of a insight into the way that you can apply for us. So our application is open now, it's live on our website. So you just need to go to shoosmiths.co.uk/graduates, and then you'll see all the different drop downs under the graduate tab, and there's one that says ready to apply. So obviously read through the information, and then when you're ready to apply, go through onto that page. You can start an application form, save it, come back to it. You don't have to submit it all in one sitting. So we would advise obviously going in, filling in your sort of basic personal details, having a look at the questions that you're going to need to answer, and then going away and coming back to it in a couple of days. The deadline to apply for a summer vacation placement with us is the 28th of February 2019, so you've got a few months, and we would recommend applying for the VAC scheme and training contract in conjunction with each other. For us, that means you just log on, you tick VAC scheme, tick training contract, and submit one application form. Done. The reason we do that is because we want you to be committed to a career at Shoosmiths kind of from the outset, and also because our VAC scheme feeds into our training contract assessment centres. So unlike some other firms, we don't have an assessment day at the end of the VAC scheme just for VAC schemers. We want all of our candidates to go through the same assessment day process. So when the assessment days take place in late June, there'll be people who have done VAC schemes, there'll be people who have only just done an application, there might be some internal candidates, and so everybody is assessed against the same criteria over those few days. So this year, as well as the application form, there is also a video interview. So the way it will work is you'll submit your application form, and if you pass that stage, then you'll be invited to do a video interview, and if you pass that stage, you'll be invited to the VAC scheme. So what I would say is we will be making some decisions on a rolling basis. So you want to get your summer vacation placement application done no later really than I think the end of January, to give you enough time to do that video interview and then be able to start preparing for the VAC scheme itself. So hopefully I've made that clear, but I will link at the end of this video into some more information about that, and we will be releasing more information about the video interviews very shortly. So I just want to mention that you can ask a question at any time through this video. Just pop it into the comments, and if you've got a friend or a colleague that you think should watch this video, then you can just hit invite or tag their name into the bottom as well. So we're going to talk a little bit now about actually the VAC scheme itself and what you can expect from the week or the 2 weeks, wherever you do it. So tell me about your VAC schemes, Rachel. How many did you do and what happened?
So yeah, in the summer of 2015 I did several. Shoosmiths was actually the last one out of 3 that I did that summer. So I did one at a Cambridge law firm called Taylor Vinters, which was 2 weeks long, and we did sort of one seat, mini seat in 2 different departments, which for me was quite unsettling because you literally just got to know somebody and then you were kind of uprooted and shoved somewhere else. And then I also did one at a large firm called Ashurst. I kind of wanted to get a mix as to what kind of firm that I wanted to go for. Obviously, coming from a non-law degree background, I wanted to try and get as much experience as I could. And then, so I did 1 week there, and then I did the 1 week at Shoosmiths. So I came to the Milton Keynes office for my vacation scheme, and I was in the real estate team, which is now where I'm doing my first seat, and there's lots of familiar faces. So that's one of the big pluses of the vacation scheme, is that when you come to your training contract, if you're successful, which we hope you all will be, that you then get to maybe meet the same team that you did a vacation scheme with, which was lovely because on my first day a few people recognised me, and it's great to know that there's some familiar faces there, and also to have known a team and also the people in the office. So yeah, the first 1 week here in the real estate team, on my first day turned up and there was a couple of other people. Some people had done law degrees, some people hadn't, which was really nice, a real mix of people. And then everybody was in a different team. We got lots of chances throughout the week to be together. Lots of lunches organised, which was really nice. So yeah, it was really, really good.
Okay. So aside from, obviously you're coming in to experience life in a law firm, so you're getting to know people, networking, and that's, I think, a really important thing because for us, at the end of your VAC scheme, your team will complete a report based on a number of criteria that we set for what we expect the skills of a trainee solicitor to be, and then based on that feedback, they will recommend you to the Training Contract Assessment Centre. So luckily for you, Rachel, you were, they did think you ticked all the boxes that you needed to, they liked you, and they recommended you through to the Training Contract Assessment Centre. And so, yeah, a lot of that is obviously your communication skills and hitting the Shoosmiths values. But of course, it's experiencing the legal work in the team as well and shadowing the other people in the team. But the graduate recruitment team also set a task. So can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, so on our first day, grad recruitment set us a task to do, and it's a task that runs throughout the week. So it's also about managing your work that you're getting from the team with the grad recruitment task. So from day one, you're having to manage your workload, which is a really good experience, especially if you've never worked in the business industry before. It's great to start doing that early on. So there was, I think, it was 3 mini tasks. One of them was organising a trainee's diary. So learning how to prioritise, and it's stuff that comes up and has already happened to me in my first couple of months here, that you start a day thinking this is going to happen and this is what I need to accomplish, but obviously inevitably things happen that mean that you have to reorganise your priorities. So that was the task that I did first, so organising a trainee's diary and prioritising and explaining why you put them in that order. But it was also a great chance to speak to the other trainees and see how they would react to that situation and how they would prioritise as well. And then I also had another great opportunity to go and meet a team where I wasn't actually doing my vacation scheme. So it meant that I had to go and go out of your comfort zone a little bit and go and meet new people in the office and make some connections. So I organised meetings with the trainee in that team, and I'd researched even my answers to the questions and what I thought was the answer to the scenario, and it was actually a past client question which they rehearsed for us, and then met with the trainee, discussed my answers and how I thought that they solved the client's needs, and then we kind of chatted about it and I went away and typed it up. And then I also had a real estate task where we had to do some drafting. So obviously do some research on that, look at precedents on the system, and then again speaking to the trainee in that team and other lawyers in that team as well, to see how they would have drafted or what they would have done differently. And then we submitted that to grad recruitment during the week. And then on the final day, there's a presentation, which you need to have been preparing for all week, where ours was a client pitch as to why they should choose Shoosmiths. So we needed to go research what all the teams did in your particular office, as well as the wider offices, and understand why that met the client's needs, how we'd worked for previous clients that were quite similar, looking at all the great awards that Shoosmiths have won. And then I scheduled meetings with various people in different teams and asked them to explain their day-to-day role, and if they were doing this client pitch, why would they think that the client should come to Shoosmiths? And then invite various people to attend the presentation on your last day of your vacation scheme. And then you do your mini presentation to everybody. It's always good to do some little handouts as well so people know what you're talking about. And then so people turn up to the presentation, and then you present on your client pitch, and you treat it very much like a client pitch, that they are your client coming in and this is why they should choose Shoosmiths. So that was really helpful, and obviously again managing it against the workload that I was being set from real estate at the same time was really good to learn how to manage those expectations as well.
Yeah, so I think one of the things people worry about, especially with only a week-long placement, is that you're only going to experience one department and not see much else. But actually, in your experience, those tasks obviously make sure that you go and get to know other people.
Definitely.
And
I think I spoke to every department here, which was great, especially due to the presentation.
Yeah.
But it makes you do that as well, which is really good. And obviously, it's a confident issue, and sometimes people just need a little gentle nudge to go and meet other teams, and everybody here is so friendly, and I was so nervous going to speak to some of them, but within 2 seconds I was like, why on earth was I nervous about that? Because they were so friendly and approachable, and then when I invited them to the presentation, they were actually really excited to come and see that and gave me some really good feedback.
Yeah, that's great. And also, so the whole reason we do these tasks obviously is get you a little bit outside of your comfort zone, because it's easy to sit in that one place at your desk for the whole week, but we want you to get out and network with people and build those relationships and understand more about our business as a whole. But it's also to practice for the things that you'll be doing, well, as a trainee solicitor, obviously, but through the assessment process as well. So the prioritisation task is very similar to something that we run on the assessment day now. And also, of course, client pitches, presentations. We're testing your skills in terms of communication, being articulate, confidence to stand up in front of an audience. So they're all skills that you're going to be able to practice. For people that are successful and get to come on a summer vacation placement with Shoosmiths, what pieces of advice would you share with them so that they can make the most of the experience?
Definitely do your research before you get here. Obviously, you have to have done it to get the assessments to the vacation scheme in the first place. But really just throw yourself in and don't hold back at all. It's only 1 week, so you have 1 week to shine and impress everybody. But 1 week for you to get the most out of it as well. And if you're obviously, it's quite daunting on your first day, but I will say from the second you walk through that door, they make you feel so at home. So just really make yourself get out there. Dive yourself into every task that's given to you. Go ask for more work if you feel like you don't have enough, or you've completed anything. Don't be afraid to interrupt people that are working. Everybody wants to help, and actually you're helping them take some workload off them. Definitely go around and meet all the teams as many times as you can and make yourself known. Make a name for yourself straight away, which is great. So people remember you. When grad recruitment come and give feedback, they go, yes, I know who Rachel is. She did this for us. Obviously, we'll give you some feedback. So dive into it. But also in the social side of it as well, make sure you go make friends. You'll be invited for lunches. Make sure you go. Try not to schedule too many other social events in that week, just so you've got some free time as well. So I was invited to a Roll on Friday pub quiz with the trainees and other young professionals in the area, which was a great opportunity to meet everybody and also see the social, but also the business side of it, because again, you're meeting potential clients that you need to impress. Dive into everything that you're given, and don't be afraid to ask questions. I think we're all so scared of asking questions sometimes, but if you've got a question on the grad recruitment side, on the trainee side, the legal side, anything, just ask the question. Yeah,
or ask it now on Facebook Live, and we will get to your questions in a second and answer them for you. I think with all those tasks, it sounds pretty tiring and a really busy week, but it's just about just going for it, because that opportunity, obviously grabbing it with both hands and just taking it while you can. So let me just have a look and see if we've had any questions come in. We have had a few. So we've got Joe watching us from Nottingham. Hi Joe. Andrea watching from Birmingham. We've got Southampton University, but she's from Reading, and that's Hannah. Let's see if we've got any questions. So Cameron said, is there an assessment day for the VAT scheme, and do you get offered for a training contract at the end of the VAT scheme? So Cameron, no, there's not an assessment day for the VAT scheme. It's an application form and then a video interview. And then on the VAT scheme, you may be recommended through to the training contract assessment day. So there's not an assessment day as part of that week. It's a separate day. So do make sure that you know when those dates are. So if you're obviously successful and get to come on a VAT scheme, you want to put the date in the diary for the assessment day as well, in case you go through that process.
As I learnt.
So Rachel, you were travelling, weren't you?
So I hadn't realised that the assessment day wasn't at the end of the back scheme, and had booked to go travelling to Australia. So it was successful to get to the assessment centre, but then unfortunately I couldn't make it. But luckily enough for me, Grad Recruitment invited me the next year. So it worked out well in the end, but don't put yourself through that.
Because you never know. We could have filled the places and all sorts. So do make sure you've got those dates in the diary. So Hannah says, how do you think Shoosmiths remain attractive to clients, and what makes the firm different? Okay, so a really good in-depth question there, Hannah. So how do we remain attractive to clients? So I think that's listening to our clients and making sure that we're actually giving them what they want and need, and not just what we think that they want and need. So there's definitely a big difference there. So we have account managers who, as part of their role, they go out and they listen to the clients. And I think that's really important to have somebody that's impartial. So it's not the partner, it's not the client, it's not the team, but it's an account manager that kind of acts as a mediator there to get that information. We find clients are much more open to sharing honest feedback then, which hopefully we can then go away and act on, because of course it's one thing to get feedback, it's quite another to do something about it. And what was your other question? So you said, what makes the firm different? So I think we've got huge ambition in this firm for growth, and all of our lawyers are massive experts in their field of law. So I think that's I hope you'd agree, a really an attractive thing for a trainee coming into the firm, is that you're being taught by people who are really passionate and really good at their jobs. And you could think that that's something that happens at all law firms, but you won't know until you go and experience it on work experience. So do take that opportunity to apply and go and experience it for yourself. So few questions coming in. Thank you guys, keep them coming. So Jemima asks, do you accept applications from second year non-law students, and is there a spring VAT scheme? So no, we don't have a spring VAT scheme, only a summer VAT scheme. It's just the one. And we don't, I'm afraid, accept applications from second year non-law. It's got to be final year non-law, and that's because it feeds into our training contract recruitment. So if you have a look at the dates on our website, you'll be able to work that out. Alice says, if you applied for both a VAT scheme and a training contract at the same time and were unsuccessful in gaining a place in a VAT scheme, do you have the opportunity still to go forward for the training contract? So the answer is yes. So when you fill in the application and tick VAT scheme and training contract, it comes to us as 2 applications, even though you're only submitting 1. So we, in terms of the numbers, we only have about 40 places for VAT scheme across the firm, and we have around 120 places for on the assessment day for training contract. So the way the numbers work, you could be unsuccessful for a VAT scheme, but still successful for an assessment date later on. So please don't lose hope if you're not successful for the VAT scheme. It's certainly not a disadvantage as long as you get your experiences elsewhere, university presentations, insight evenings, employer talks, watching these videos. You can definitely gain a lot of knowledge that will help you compete against somebody who's got a VAT scheme. And of course, it's not just getting a VAT scheme, it's actually making the most of that experience. It's not good enough just to come and expect that that's a tick on your CV. It doesn't really work like that.
No.
Okay, we've got some more questions. So Adam said, what questions would be asked on the video interview? And he's watching from Birmingham. So I can't share those right now for you, Adam. We are about to confirm all the details of our video interview. So do keep watching our future videos. We will do one on video interview tips. And also we'll pop a blog post out there to help you get prepared for the video interview. So yeah, keep watching for that. Cameron says, there's loads of questions coming in, guys. Thank you so much. This is great. Cameron says, will it matter that I have a lack of legal work experience even though I have non-legal work experience? So from an application point of view, no, that doesn't matter. All experiences are really important. You just got to show those transferable skills and show how you would apply those skills in a law firm. Did you have non-legal work experience as well?
Yeah, so I'd say most of my experience really was non-legal. I only had a couple of bits that were legal. Obviously try and get as much legal as you can, but really I learned so much from the business side of it that really helps me, and loads of the my interviewers picked up on those skills and that experience in my interviews, and actually were really impressed by that. So don't just try it just sit and think, what did I learn about this and how could this help me within a legal industry? Because at the end of the day we act for businesses and we have to know what our clients are going through. So if you've worked in business, that's great, and definitely pick out the skills that you've learned from that.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. So Lily says, are you disadvantaged at all in the VAC scheme if you've not been to a Shoosmiths Insight evening? No, absolutely not at all. Obviously, it's great if you can come to an event, but you can watch these videos. That's exactly why we're doing these, is to reach out to people that we might not be able to meet in person. And this is your opportunity to ask us questions and use this like an insight into the firm, like an open day. So please do share and take advantage of these videos to connect with us. And definitely not, then you won't be disadvantaged. Simra says, what are the confirmed dates for the VAC scheme in 2019? So they're in the first couple of weeks of June. The way it works is if you're successful, we'll say to you, okay, these are the weeks in June that we're running the placement, which ones are suitable for you, and then you can tell us which ones work for you, and we'll work around that. And we do that because we know it's important to be flexible for your other commitments. You choose an office that you want to apply to at the outset, but then when you're successful, we'll say to you, okay, which team do you want to go into? And we will try and match that preference for you as well. And that's because it depends on the trainees in the teams, the capacity of work, and making sure that the team is obviously big enough to support you and make sure there's enough work for you as well. But we want you to kind of sit with a trainee and get to know, I guess, use them as a buddy. Do you remember that? Did you have a buddy?
I had a buddy. So yeah. I definitely remember my buddy when I arrived. And they're really useful just for any kind of questions that you have. And it's nice to know that there's somebody there looking out for you. And, you know, you're not coming in and you're left to your own devices and you're all on your own. So yeah, the buddy's great, and obviously if you come by, just say hi to everybody.
Yeah, and we'll put you in touch with the buddy before your VAC scheme starts as well, so you can already start to ask about the type of work that you're going to be doing, or if there's any reading that you need to do. I mean, on the whole, there shouldn't really be that much preparation. You should just come and be able to do it all on the week, but it's good to obviously get that contact in first. So Hannah says, a question for Rachel: what made you want to become a trainee at Shoosmiths?
The main thing for me was wanting a friendly firm, but also a firm. I think some people think if you go outside of London that the law firms aren't that ambitious, or you know, they're small and they're not growing. But Shoosmiths is a complete antithesis of that. Like, they're such an ambitious, growing firm, and I really wanted to be a part of that. I could just see that they were opening more and more offices. They were getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Their clients were just growing every year. And I really wanted to be a part of that. I think for me, I was looking at firms in London, but I was looking at firms outside of London as well. But yeah, Shoosmiths for me just really clicked. Obviously I didn't know all of this until I actually came in and did the vacation scheme. But yeah, it was the quality of the work, the clients. I'd heard a lot of things that it was a really friendly place to work. Obviously some of it, you hear lots of firms that might say that, and you don't really know until you get to come in and experience it for yourself. But I can honestly say from the second I walked in, I knew that everything was true. And the quality of the training has been amazing. So it was all of those things that really drove me here.
Perfect. So that's it for today's session. I hope that you found some useful information there about listening to Rachel's experiences and our top tips for summer vacation placements. I will be running another Facebook Live video on the 21st of December. That's Friday the 21st. And I'm going to be joined by Janine. So Janine was a trainee solicitor quite a few years ago now, and she qualified into our corporate team in Reading. She went off, had some babies, and now she's running a coaching company called Lightbox Coaching. So I'm going to be talking to her all about qualifying at the firm, having a family and being a lawyer, and then what she's doing now. So it's going to be a really interesting one, a little bit different perhaps to some of the discussions that we've already been having. I will share some links in the video comments after this, just to make sure that you can find out a bit more information if you'd like to. The application is open now. If you want to apply for a summer vacation placement, just head over to our website. And as always, any more comments, any feedback you've got, or you want to hear from specific people within our business, just let me know and we will get that sorted for our future events. So thanks, Rachel.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.